All right, no word of a lie. First shot with the FT9 Pro, 75 flex, P9 ETM. That's pretty good. All right, springtime, you guys know what that means. Not only is it allergy season, but it's new stick release season. CCM's kicking off 2026 with a big one. Today, we got the JETSPEED FT9 Pro. If you know me, you would know my favorite stick of recent memory has been the FT6 Pro. For me, it had the perfect balance of shot power, puck feel, but also balance, like feel in the hands. And honestly, the JETSPEED line for me just hasn't really been the same since. For me, the FT7 kind of lacked power, and then the FT8 had the power, but then lacked the feel. So today I'm really excited to try out this FT9. I really hope they can bring me back. In this video, I'm gonna be trying out the new CCM FT9 Pro, telling you my first impressions, breaking down what's new, and finally at the end, I'm gonna tell you if CCM has won me back or not. All right, let's get into the testing. Let's start off with some snapshots, then we'll get into some wrist shots, and then maybe we'll throw in some toe drag releases. Let's go. Starting off with the snapshots. Holy cow. Okay, this thing's pretty good. All right, first impressions after taking a few snapshots. I'm not gonna lie, this is giving me the same feeling when I shot the FT6 for the first time. Just feels effortless and kind of refreshing. I've been using low kick sticks for a minute now. This hybrid kick point just kind of brings me back. This is one of those sticks that feels like it's doing more of the work for you than you are. This stick does the heavy lifting in my opinion. You kind of just have to do the motion of shooting and it's automatic. I don't know how to describe it. Also feel, when I was kind of stick handling between shots there, felt really good. It was definitely something that was missing in the FT7 and the FT8. I'm not quite sure what it is yet. I'm gonna have to read the spec sheet when we go over the specs, but yeah, I don't know. So far, so good. Let's take some wrist shots, see how it performs. Also, excuse me if I'm a little out of breath here. I know I'm out of shape, but I'm also getting over a cold, so bear with me. All right, let's take some wrist shots. All right, wrist shots, pretty good, I'm not gonna lie. They weren't as good as the snapshots in my opinion. If the snapshots were like maybe like a 9.5 out of 10, wrist shots were probably like a 7. So still really good. Not the stand-up feature of the stick, I don't think, but it kind of fits into the JETSPEED line where you can kind of shoot from anywhere. You never really know where you're gonna be on the ice or what position you're gonna be in unless you're like OV. So far, so good. Let's do one final test here before we break down the specs. My favorite test, toe drag releases. Now, to do toe drag releases, you need something to toe drag around. And for some reason, first thing I found was the most expensive helmet in the store, CCM Tax-X. This thing's like a $550 helmet. Let's pray I don't hit this with a puck because this will suddenly become a very expensive video. All right, let's put this thing down right here. So we got a toe drag around the helmet, get a shot on that. Woo! All right, toe drag releases with the FT9 Pro. Very good. The stick kind of pops the same way that it does on snapshots. I want to say it's closer to a low kick point, but has more power, I find. I mean, it makes sense that they call this a hybrid kick point, but to me, this just feels like a low kick plus, if that makes sense, or like a low kick pro max, maybe. Now, to further iterate on that low kick pro max thing I was trying to say. What I mean by that is that you can totally do the low kick style shots where you're kind of in stride, you flick it up like that. You can do toe drag releases, which force you to load the stick more. And I feel like with low kick sticks, you kind of lose power there, but not a problem with this thing. You can literally do every kind of shot with this stick. Breaking down what's new and what's returning to the JETSPEED lineup, of course, JETSPEED has always been that hybrid kick point. On the FT6 Pro, I loved the hybrid kick point. That's one thing that I miss right now in my game. I'm currently using a Bauer Flylight, and sometimes when I'm trying to load really, really heavy shots, like if I have time and I want to just rip one past the goalie and I try and load it, the shot actually ends up coming out a lot weaker than if I were to just take a quick snapshot. That's not a problem with the hybrid kick points, so that definitely checks a box for me. Brand new feature on this stick is the NeoSense Fuse hosel technology they got going on in this area. From my understanding, it's the way that they fuse the blade into the shaft right here. That creates a seamless connection, giving you better feel for the puck. Honestly, I did notice that. When I first started stick handling before we started shooting, I noticed that I could really feel kind of the vibrations, but in a good way, through the shaft into my hands, and I could feel where the puck was without looking down. Again, making its return, Sigmatex ST 2 times, and Aluply, which is basically just aluminum sheets layered in between the carbon. So something I didn't know until recently was that Aluply actually has some cool properties to it. Carbon fiber is very brittle and shatters, as we all know, when we break sticks. Aluply in between the carbon just encourages the total material to kind of bend more, because aluminum is a lot more flexible than carbon fiber is. So that hopefully helps with durability. I think it's super cool that CCM is thinking about durability in sticks nowadays. Moving down to the blade, we got their new soft, stiff Evo blade. That just means they have an extra soft portion kind of in the heel here for stick handling and passing, which is perfect because that's what I do. I stick handle on the back of my blade, and then a stiffer front portion for shooting, which again makes sense for me. I shoot off the toe using a P90 TM, so another check for me. Other than that, seems like it's relatively familiar. We got that R shaft shape, which is the rounded corners, concave walls. On top of that, we got the classic JETSPEED FT microfeel on the bottom. Ever since they put this on the FT6 Pro, this has been my favorite tactile grip. It doesn't take over the total stick, it's just where your bottom hand is, where your fingers are, and kind of gives you that perfect feel. Now, one of the most glaring things about this stick is the new graphic. To me personally, I think hockey fashion is a real thing. There's definitely trends that come and go. It wasn't too long ago that every brand was trying to come out with an all black sleek stick. Now I feel like the trend is bringing colors back, which I'm a big fan of. As a player, there's not really much you can customize, especially if you're playing on a team. You gotta wear team colored helmet, gloves, pants, and then you got the jersey and socks. You really only have your stick compared to a goalie that can customize their pads and their masks. So I think sticks are a super important way to kind of express yourself. And honestly, I think CCM killed it with this. Let's kind of break down this graphic a little bit. I don't know why, but to me, this just reminds me of the Simpsons intro with the blue sky and the clouds, and it kind of zooms in. And then down here, we kind of have like this like paint splatter going on. I don't really know if this is like flames or paint splatter. It's kind of hard to tell, but either way, I think it's super creative of CCM. One of my favorite things that they've done is that they've made this thing look super bright and loud up top for the first 2/3, but then you basically just have black raw carbon look from the bottom down. So when you're stick handling, that looks super good when it's just all black there. It's a nice contrast from the ice. You can see where your stick is in your peripheral vision. Big fan of that. We're going rogue here. We got kicked out of the shooting room. We also got kicked out of the Hockey Shop official stick weighing lab. So we're in the corner of the store. We got our scientific scale down here. We also got the FT9 Pro and the FT8 Pro and the Vision 2. So we're gonna see how this weighs up compared to these two. Let's go. So first up, actually, let's save the FT9 till last. Let's go with the FT8 Pro. By the way, these are all 70 flex, same curve as well. Ooh, okay. 364 for 70 flex P90 TM. Pretty light, pretty good. Next up, Vision 2. I feel like this thing's gotta be lighter than the FT8, right?
Check over in the goalie department.
Let's see.
And even
What do we got here?
wall over there.
366, okay. We're splitting hairs here. 2 grams heavier than the FT8 Pro. Okay, and then finally, FT9 Pro. Let's see how much this thing weighs. Come on now. 358, okay. So a little bit lighter than the other sticks. You can kind of feel it, but I feel like the main thing is the balance. I don't know. Balance is just so nice. Maybe that's to do with the weight too, but yeah. FT9 Pro, lighter than the other two. Overall, CCM JETSPEED FT9 Pro, I think is a win. Checks a lot of boxes for me. Has CCM won me back with this stick? Look-wise, check. Feel-wise, check. Shooting-wise, check. My wallet probably hates hearing this, but I think CCM has won me back with this thing. I think I might have to leave with this today.